Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hello, Linda. Good to see you. Yeah, it was a good day. It was relaxing. I just kind of rested today and watched a bunch of videos and prepared for tonight. Hello, Ginger Girl. Good to see you. Uh, yeah, I was just kind of going through what we're going to do tonight and thinking about what we should talk about. And I keep going back to the timeline for Sebastian. And it seems like, we don't have a really good, solid timeline. I don't know if anybody out there does because there's just things that we don't know, right? But yeah, I thought, why not try to do that? But first, I was going to show, let's see, some updates. So and I put this out. Public update on the search for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, January 1st, 2025. At Night has reason to believe that it has identified the individual who first received the report of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers' disappearance prior to its escalation to law enforcement on February 26th. Furthermore, and keep in mind, prior to its escalation. Furthermore, our team has likely determined the identity of the individual engaged in the extensive phone conversation with Mr. and Mrs. Proudfoot on the morning of Sebastian's purported disappearance. These findings, supported by intelligence from sources closely connected to the case, represent a pivotal development in our ongoing effort. If you have any information concerning the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, please contact the Sumner County Sheriff's Office at 615-451-3838, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation at 1-800-TBI-FIND, or via email at tips2tbi@tbi.tn.gov. You may also reach out to your local FBI office, the nearest embassy, consulate, or submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. Alternatively, you can contact @Dog the Bounty Hunter at 833-TELL-DOG, which is 835-5364, or at Night at 844-922-3236 via phone or text. Lastly, you can send email tips to Sebastian at manhunts.one. So there was that one. I like the idea about prior to its escalation to law enforcement. They talked to this person. I found that very interesting. That update causes you confusion. Happy New Year, K9. Good to see you. Yeah. What's confusing about it? Did you not know? I had been hearing that they had talked to somebody else prior to calling. That's why they didn't call the alleged three-way call until 6:33. They talked to someone else first. Who do you think that is, guys? Who do you think they called? Right, K9? Yeah. Yeah. Who do you think they would have called before they called law enforcement? Hi, Sylvester. Welcome in. We appreciate everybody here. Yeah, I know, but she lied. Go figure. Surprise, surprise, right? Kathy, I wondered if it was a lawyer. Some people said Melissa. I don't know. I don't think they're talking canine. I mean, it would be pretty telling if they did call a lawyer first, right? I don't know if they did or not, but that would be pretty telling. Um, they Sylvester, I don't think they made a 911 call. Because they called directly to the sheriff's office, which would have been where Craddock works at 6:33. So they didn't make a 911 call. Um, but yeah, I found that interesting. It could be important. It might just be a nothing burger. Oh, okay. I thought that's what you said though. Yes. May, well, maybe they did call Craddock. You're right, Sylvester. Maybe they called him before they called the office. Oh, okay, gotcha. That makes sense now. You played Wheel of Fortune today, Sylvester? uh, yeah, I mean, it could be important. It might not be. I mean, we just don't know, you know. Yeah, I mean, maybe it was Craddock that they called first, and then they yeah. Um, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Let's look at the other I'll share my screen. Look at the other update that At Night had today. So this one says, At Night, private intelligence has received new information that has directed our team towards specific leads in the search for Sebastian Waindrake Rogers. These leads are being pursued vigorously and with priority, and as such, all forthcoming updates related to the search itself will be temporarily paused until the leads have been thoroughly investigated and clarified. So that means they're not going to give any updates right now until temporarily paused until the leads have been thoroughly investigated and clarified. Call for continued public assistance. While we focus our resources on this promising development, we urge the public to remain vigilant and continue providing surveillance footage or recordings from the 100 block of Enoch Way and 1000 block of Stafford Court during the critical time frame of February 23rd through the 26th. Reports of any suspicious behavior or individuals in these areas, past or present. Even seemingly minor details can play a crucial role in furthering our understanding and strengthening our efforts. And then it tells you how to submit the information. At Night remains relentless in the pursuit of truth and justice for Sebastian Waindrake Rogers. While this lead is being pursued, we assure the public that every effort is being made to bring clarity and resolution to this case. Your continued cooperation and vigilance remain invaluable. Sebastian Waindrake Rogers, just 15 years old at the time of his disappearance, is believed to be alive, although no longer in Tennessee. His family and friends continue to wait for answers. Your willingness to help can make a critical difference in resolving this case. Our mission to find Sebastian and bring him home continues unabated. Every voice, every tip, and every moment of your time is deeply appreciated. We will keep the public updated as new information emerges, and we thank you for your ongoing support and cooperation. Together, we will bring Sebastian home. So, um, Yeah, they just need all their ducks in a row. That's right. Oh, Wheel of Fortune. Price is Right. You did terrible, huh? Is fireworks still going off by you? That's crazy. Yeah, animals. Yeah, my Lacey does not like fireworks. So did they have a four-way and not a three-way? Hmm. TMI, Ginger TMI. uh, um, no, I mean, from everything that I've heard is 2 separate phone calls. Yeah, I saw it. I think I kind of, um I was only on it for a little while, and I jumped off about the time you guys were getting ready to play, so I was in there for a little while. CJ's a good guy. But yes, yeah, I think that it was 2 different phone calls from everything that I heard. Um, you know, who it was, I mean, evidently At Night knows, right? We don't know, but they know. I heard that too, Sylvester. That's why I made that funny comment. Whether that's true, I don't know. I don't wanna go there. Yuck. Yeah, just, um so we're gonna take a look at our timeline. So we don't really know, this was on the 25th, right? We don't really know what time they had the fun fact breakfast with spaghetti pancakes, right? I suppose we could put that in there. Spaghetti pancakes, right? Um, and Sebastian talked to family, right? Oops. We're jumping off, but that's okay. They picked up their niece. We don't know any of these timelines, right? Grocery store, we don't know what time they went there. Then they went home to put away the snacks. Then they went to Strikes and Spares. Does anybody remember when they left the Roadhouse? Because I don't think we know what time they got there, but do we know what time they left the Roadhouse? Anybody remember that one? Yeah. Well, so here's my question. 6:22, Sylvester? Okay. I thought it was something like that, but I wasn't sure. So they left at 6:22 p.m. It's about a 20-minute drive home, I think they said, right? Um, then the garbage was put out supposedly. Katie said Sebastian went to bed around 9, which was the last time she would have seen him. And she heard a thud but didn't check on him at 10 o'clock. Right? And 12 o'clock, she went to bed, allegedly. Was it 3:10 where we have the flashlight video, right? and 5, we'll just say 5 a.m., the trash truck. Does that sound right to you guys? I agree, Sylvester. I think it was Katie. She's the one that had the hoodie on. You think it was 6:33? Okay. I thought 6:33 was when the call was made to the Sumner County Sheriff. Yeah. Okay. K9. I know I did too. Because all I could think about was, are they really spaghetti pancakes? Are they made out of spaghetti? Yeah. I had to check them out. It was 6:38. She backed out of her parking spot at 6:24:54 p.m. Okay. So she backed out of her parking spot at 6:24 p.m. Okay. All right. And then do we know? I know that Seth saw a video of someone, quotation marks, right? Taking out the garbage. Pretty sure it's not Sebastian, right? So someone taking out the garbage. Do we know what time that was? Yes, it is heartbreaking. It's awful, in my opinion. I feel like we're closer, though. I feel like we're definitely a lot closer. But so 12 p.m., Katie went to bed. 3:10 a.m. is a flashlight video. I remember this part. We're taking her at her word there. We're also taking her at her word here. Right? And here. Because we don't really know. What we do know is this right here, Texas Roadhouse, because we saw the video, right? The rest of this, guys, is all Katie's word. Did you ever realize that? No. Whoops. This is not Katie's word. We have video of that. That's weird. And then, so this unknown person was at another 3-way call. How many 3-way calls did they have that day, guys? That's what I was thinking. I don't think she ever went to bed. Bobby says on her chat with that creator guy. Bobby says what? I'm lost. The neighbor had video of her coming home. Okay. Could they see Sebastian? There's a lot being said about Bobby lately, and it's why are people going after people who are just willing to speak up and tell what they know? I do for the life of me, I will never understand it. I think I was watching Justin earlier today, and he said, "Why all the hate? Everybody just needs to love everybody." And I agree. No, she pulled into the garage. Yeah, that's what I thought. Um, are their windows tinted on their car? I don't know. But I suppose it'd be dark at night, so it'd still be hard to see even with especially on video. Did Bobby say what time they got home? Just curious. That's true. We could see him inside the car at the roadhouse, but it was still somewhat light out. I mean, it was kind of dusk, I think. Right? So their windows aren't tinted enough to not see through. You could see through them. But the darker it gets, the harder it is to see somebody behind glass, right? Hello, Carrie. Good to see you. I know. Anybody, right? I mean, you'd want anybody to speak. But evidently, there are people that are going after others for speaking, right? It's it it just blows my mind. It's just incredible that people go after others for telling their truth. Okay? So what Bobby is telling is her truth. Um she's telling what she saw, you know. Is what she saw jaded? We don't know. Doubtful. But did she embellish? Some people can't tell a story without embellishing. Do any of you guys know people like that? I do. It's so frustrating. um, it's like I don't know why people do that, but some people do. They'll embellish, and instead of just telling the story, they've got to add to it, make it better, right? Yeah, I know. A neighbor had to. They're living in a motel because they're afraid. I'll tell you, I suppose it's easy for me to say, but nobody would get me out of my home. No. Would take a lot. I'd be buying something to protect myself. I can tell you that much. Nobody would be getting me out of my home. restraining orders would be used, whatever I had to do, right? Ring doorbells, cameras, and everything else. I'd be using everything in my arsenal. Be no way. So what I thought we would do, since we're kind of looking at the timeline, we're kind of trying to fit it in. Kids, yeah, exactly right, Carrie. They wouldn't get you out either, and yeah, your kids are the reason you exist. I mean, I guess if I had children in the home, no, because from what I hear that they're doing is that they're just shooting their mouths off, right? Um, and taking pictures and whatever and video, you know? um, I'd be like, take all the freaking pictures you want. You think you're going to get me out of my home? You think you're going to scare me? You got another thing coming. Get lost or I'm calling the cops. That'd be what I'd be saying. Get off my property. Um, oh, they have a new baby. Aw. Tracy, 6:48, they returned to the home. Hello, Tracy. It's good to see you. Welcome in. So 6:48, they returned home. Okay. Let's put that in there. Did anybody know when they put the garbage out? Anybody know? I don't know if Seth ever said. I don't think he mentioned a time. He said he saw the video, but I don't think he mentioned a time, did he? Happy New Year, Tracy. Right back at ya. This is going to be a good year. Sebastian's going to be home. You know, it's going to be a good year, guys. I feel it in my bones. You know what? And I forget who said this recently, but nosy neighbors are the best neighbors because sometimes they solve crimes, right? You had the nosy neighbor in the Dan Markel case. If he hadn't been paying attention, you know, who knows when Dan would have been found in that car. Right after they got out of the vehicle, they brought the garbage out. Oh, so that right there, if that's true, that right there is proof that it was Katie who took the garbage out because Sebastian didn't have on a hoodie. She did. Hey, got change. Hello, hello. So we could say they put the garbage out, what, by 7 p.m.? Something like that. I mean, that if right after they got out of the car, so by 7 p.m., they put the garbage out because they would have had to go get it and then put it out. Right. Right. The only time that they bother me is if I'm in a hurry to get inside or something and they want to talk, 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 talk. Yeah. Then it bugs me, right? Oh, Mally Cat. Hello, hello. I know. That was so sweet of her. That was really sweet of her. Um, I was so humbled and blessed by that. That was so nice of her. And see, that's the way. Jean Ann, is that how you say your name? Hello, hello. It's good to see you. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, Sebastian at the Texas Roadhouse, he was so well behaved. You know, for for a child who obviously went through what he did, right? Um, it's just sad. Just really sad. Um, he was so well behaved. He was, yes, he shook his head no at her once. I don't know what it was about, but it didn't matter, right? Oh, Mally Cat, thank you. That's so nice. If you received a membership from Mally Cat, be sure to thank her. And oh, that's so sweet. Appreciate that. Oh, but yeah, when you think about what Sebastian went through, it breaks my heart, right? Oh, Jean, you got it. That's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, trying to put together a decent timeline, and we said just the facts, right? Well, when you look at it and you think about the fact that, well, always do that. So all of this up to the Texas Roadhouse is Katie telling us that, right? And then we've got evidence at the Texas Roadhouse, the video of them getting home and the video of the garbage being out, right? But then the rest of this is Katie. And I'm sorry, guys. Uh, I have a hard time believing anything she says now. I really do. Because she wasn't consistent. You know, this right here, that story changed. What, like 3 different times? It started out as she heard something, thought he was playing with something in there, and then it was a noise, and then it turned into a thud, right? And the first time, she didn't even talk about it in her first interview. Um, and this is Katie too. We do have evidence of these 2. That's Katie. I would imagine that phone call, law enforcement I'm sure all of these 3 law enforcement can verify, right? But that's my problem. I just have a hard time understanding or even putting something into a timeline that I'm not exactly confident about, you know? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe everything Katie said, or a 2 in chat if you're doubtful of what Katie said concerning the timeline. I'm just curious what your guys' opinions are. Linda, you're doubtful? Yeah. Canine's doubtful. Cat, Lori. Hi, Lori. Good to see you. Janine. Ginger. Yeah. Well, I'm not alone. So I'm not way off base here then. So yeah, it almost makes me want to take it off of there because I don't know that we can trust her. We'll leave it on for now, but we know that some of these things are just alleged and not really for sure. Oh, Ginger, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. If you received the membership from Ginger, be sure to tell her thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. Hello, Gigi. Good to see you. 6:20 a.m. CP text and then called Seth. Oh, I forgot that. You're right. 6:20. So 6:20. Chris texted and called Seth. Yeah, good one. We did forget that. Truth. That is a truth. They have, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad you're happy to be here. We're happy to have you. Lori, you same for you. Actually, I'm happy for everybody. You guys are awesome. You really are. Yeah, a lot was going on between 6 and 6:30. Makes me think it was planned, guys. What do you think? I mean, okay, so you'd normally get them up for 6:00, right? And so then you're gonna call me. And then we're gonna do this, call this other person, and then I'm gonna text Seth. It's almost like it was planned. It really makes me wonder. Here's my thoughts. Are we all gonna be surprised and shocked when the truth finally does come out? Or are we gonna be like, "We had it the whole time"? Yeah. She also checked the whole house in 3 minutes. And that's a pretty big house, right? And Sebastian was known to like to go into closets, right? Pitter patter, hello, hello. Happy New Year to you. Has anyone checked about the bowling alley? I don't know. That's a good question. It's a really good question. Where he had his colossal popcorn, right? Isn't that where he had his popcorn? Yeah. Yep. Well, and didn't he say that he was he had his earpiece for work in one ear when he was talking to doing the three-way with, law enforcement, right? So he had phone in one ear and or the earbud for his phone, I don't know which, and then the earpiece for work in the other ear because he made a point of saying that in one of the interviews or something. Yeah. Yeah, Tracy, or Sumner County Sheriff, but we know he called his friend there. Chris said he played with Legos. Right. Right. He didn't hide, but he liked to go into his closet to which isn't that kind of a well-known thing for autistic children to do? They like close spaces. Like, wasn't it Seth that said he used to hide under his bed to play his games? They like enclosed places. Evidently, they're not claustrophobic. Well, if he took the phone call from Seth at 7:20, that would be true. But you're talking about, yeah, the three-way call. Well, it doesn't surprise me we caught him in another lie. Yes, he liked to dip behind walls. Yep, exactly. You know, he so if you're if you're checking the whole house in 3 minutes, are you checking closets? Are you checking hiding spots? Yeah. Small space that he has control of. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. So I mean 3 minutes to check your whole house. You know, and they had a bonus room above the garage. I don't know if you guys have ever looked at the house. You can see it on Zillow, and it shows you all the pictures of the house. It's actually a beautiful house. You think we're gonna be surprised? Do ya? I think there are gonna be some surprises, but I think, um, some of it we might have figured out, and the reason that I say that we have figured out or we're close to figuring it out, is because of how hard, um, they're pressing back on us to cause, um, disturbances and distractions. There's a reason that all these distractions and garbage are coming out now, right? I mean, they're working overtime, guys, big time, and it's some nasty stuff. Yeah. I just, so I feel we're close. You know, who knows how close or um, just what it is, but we do know that Chris who hadn't spoken for months, right? Had not spoken in months, was triggered about his truck and came online to speak about his truck. Ginger says, I was a bit surprised to learn he didn't have his own keys for the home. He had his own keys at Seth's home. That didn't surprise me because the front door had a code. And honestly, the garage door would have had a code as well. So if he knew the code, I think Katie said he did, then that doesn't surprise me. Gigi says, always seemed odd she went to school thinking he walked there without shoes or backpack. He liked routine, and that would not be routine for him at all. Yeah. He wouldn't break routine, right? But somebody brought this up to me. Somebody said, which would be a good point, but I don't necessarily know it's true. But if you're running for your life, you would break routine, even an autistic child, right? But he wouldn't have been running. Well, maybe if he felt school was a safe place. Maybe. Hello, Rigor Motive. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I agree with you 100%. Just reading up here. You only knew the code to the front door. Yeah. Yeah. Designs by 2E. Welcome. A lot of new people in here tonight. We're happy to have you. I'm trying to figure out who Dee Dee is too. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Coming on tonight to talk about, that will be good. I like him. Ida, good to see you. Oh, well, hello, Dan and Ida from Emmett, Idaho. We're happy to have you. Yeah, he had never walked to school prior, did he? So that wouldn't be, like I said, unless he was running for his life. And what we know, I mean, we saw pictures of Sebastian with his teachers and things, right? So did he feel that to be a safe place? I mean, he could have. Yeah. Yep. Linda, those ones you would have had to have a key. So, and he said something about not being able to lock the door behind you, but I don't know. I can't think of a door that you couldn't, because you can always turn the lock on the inside and close it behind you and it's locked. Unless it was only a deadbolt. If it was only a deadbolt, then yes, you'd have to have the key to lock it from the outside. But how many? Most doors that have a deadbolt also have a door handle lock, right? Rigor Motive said, I don't believe he walked out at all. I just think about how KP spent 20 minutes telling us all these things he would never do, yet after tries to convince us that he did just that. Yeah, I agree. I think, honestly, the shoes being forgotten. I think they were forgotten. The jacket, I think they forgot to take those with them. That's my opinion. I don't believe he walked out at all. I believe he was carried out. Yep. He didn't walk out of the house on his own. I agree. Well, welcome, Designs. We're happy to have you. Yeah. And guys, there are so many of us that feel this way, right? I mean, and I am one, honest to God, I am one that looks at things objectively until finally it's like I can't ignore things anymore, you know? And if somebody's gonna um give me something else to look at, I will look at it. But, you know, you can only see things that are there. And when you see someone that is constantly backtracking on their story, not answering questions, which Chris is very good at, skirting the issue, um, inconsistent statements, and then pleads the fifth. Come on. It's really, really difficult to believe that he did anything. And yes, I agree. Tracking dogs would have picked up the scent. See, everybody's thinking the same thing here. He was carried out. Yep. Even if he wore socks, there would have been a scent. They said that even if he wore shoes, there would have been a scent. So, I was watching something on, tracking dogs, and they said that, even with shoes on, they can track a scent. Canine. Yeah, he does make a mean word, and it is mean. Allegedly pleads the fifth, yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, you know, and they tried to shove that all under the rug. Chris was asked specifically about some of those things, like calling Sebastian the R word, which gets my hackles up big time. Um, you know, and then there's other things like taking away a snake. You don't take a child's pet away. Throwing away his toys if he doesn't clean the room the way you think he should. Ah, what if we throw away his truck? Since he's so triggered by his doggone truck, what if we throw away his truck? Because he's been a bad boy. I mean, I know. I know. Well, we don't know what they're digging into or not. I mean, we only know what's been said, but here's my opinion. I really honestly feel that once Dog the Bounty Hunter got involved at night, Nick, the notoriety went nuts on this case. Now you've got people that across the world know about Sebastian, right? And I think that notoriety, whether you like dog or not, doesn't matter. That notoriety is what forced law enforcement to start dotting their I's and crossing their T's and looking at things in the way that they should. That's my opinion. Put pressure on them. Well, there's a little more to, was it Hindsight that put it out today? Or War Eagle? One of the two of them. I love both those people. One of them put out today where they were showing how that person, the green hoodie person, was walking, and then there was a vehicle's lights flashed once, and then driving back and forth, and kind of put out there, did Sebastian, get handed off to somebody at that point? And I get that's always a possibility, right? It, at Texas Roadhouse, was Katie telling Sebastian he was going to go with somebody else, and that's why he shook his head no? I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility, guys, right? My only thought with that is, why the flashlight video? Okay. And I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's bogus garbage going around that Sebastian went outside and was playing flashlight tag at 3:00 in the morning with a bunch of bullies, and they're the ones that did something to him. Well, that's such garbage. First of all, the flashlight video, if they were playing flashlight tag, those flashlights would have been going up and down in every which way. This was a direct to that car. So totally stupid scenario being put out there, and I can't understand why people don't use critical thinking. I can't believe that was even out there, but it is. Right, CP made KP give away Sebastian's cats, right? Yeah, exactly, Ginger. And they like things a certain way, their way. I mean, as long as food isn't being laying all over the place or whatever to cause issues with bugs and mice or whatever, I'd be like, have it your way. Right, Ginger. But then, we've got the flashlight video that comes into play. And I don't know. So I have a hard time trying to debunk the flashlight video. Yeah. If Sebastian made it at 10 p.m., why didn't CP ever talk about it? Well, exactly. Right? I mean, he was... I don't know. He would have heard Katie saying to Sebastian, if that was what would... Remember, this is what she said. It may or may not be true, right? I don't care what you're doing in there, buddy, but knock it off and go to bed or something like that. Such a loving mom. I know, Gigi. Me too. What little they had, but yeah, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall there. I know. That's what's really tough, right? And I agree, rigor motive. that sly smile she had when she was turning her head. Oh, that gave me the willies. I gotta tell you, that just gave me the willies. It was like, "What are you being so smug about?" And, just the way that she was holding her hand like, "I'm better than you." That's that's what I got from her. That was the vibe that I got from her, whether it was true or whether it wasn't. Pitter patter, what do you mean? Yeah, and he had on his shoes. Right? And there was even questions about whether that, keychain flashlight even worked, right? Yeah. And that yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Robin. Well, hello, Robin. Welcome back. We're glad to have you here. And Peter, I always wondered why at the Roadhouse everyone all turned around were looking. Yes. Yes. When we played that here on my channel, I stopped it and replayed it to show everybody, look at these two guys are both turning at the same time to look in Katie's direction. So, here's my thought on that. They were either arguing or they were laughing really loud. Which was it? Because it had to have been loud for for two people to turn and look at them. They drew attention to themselves. Probably didn't mean to do that, but they did. Right. I agree. I agree. He didn't walk away. Hello, Poppy Love. Good to see you. That is such a good point, Ginger. Why do people bring their business to the internet? Exactly. Call law enforcement if you're threatened. Yes, absolutely. Right? Um, but have you guys here's my question. So, have you ever had friends or family there's just that one person who no matter what they're going through in their life, it's on Facebook or it's on Twitter or wherever, right? But it's on there and it's on there for everybody to see. So if they've had a fight with their husband or if everybody's going to see it. I'm always like, "Oh my goodness. Shut up." Girl, I don't want to know. Oh, I don't know. The roadhouse between the cars, the two gentlemen at the door both turned around and were looking in their direction. Yes, they were. They definitely were. They definitely were. Hello, Nutter. Good to see you. Yeah, it was something. I I don't think it was laughter. honestly. I think it was an argument. Yeah, and there was 2 men sitting on the bench as well. That's right. You're that person, you do that. Hello, Ida, good to see you. Did I read your comment about flattening CP's truck? No, I didn't. Let me see. Tonight? Did I miss you? I'm sorry if I did. Just going back to look. I try not to miss anybody, honestly. But I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. No, that was your original one. So no, I didn't see it. In the old days, we would call someone and talk about our problems. Right. Yeah. I don't put everything on Facebook, but if something really happens, I do put it up. I have 10 friends on there. No, I'm talking about the person who puts everything, you know. Yeah, if you put it in chat, I'm not seeing it at all. And K9 said she didn't see it either. My friends like talking on the phone. They like to be face to face. Yeah. Well, and I have hearing issues, so talking on the phone is not easy for me, which is frustrating for my sister. I'm a pretty quick typer. Hello, Chicky. Good to see you. Welcome in. So it's nothing for me to type out a message to her, but she's not. That was never her forte, right? So it's difficult for her. So we each have our own difficulties. She can't type. I have trouble on the phone hearing what anybody's saying. And I hate to keep saying, "What? What'd you say? I can't hear you." That's just really so I don't like to talk on the phone either. Not to mention that for 30 years, I was in the financial sector and I was on the phone all day long. So, talking on the phone is about the last thing I like to do, honestly. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, it gets tough, but then, maybe you have that friend who likes to text message you. You could text back and forth instead of putting it on social media. you know, I mean, if that's what you do and you're fine with it, that's really up to you. Um, I don't mean to make anybody feel bad for sure for doing that. Um, I just have a family member, um, extended family member that does that and drives me crazy. I find myself praying for her constantly, you know. But getting back to Katie and Chris, I don't know, guys. When we finally get the answers, I'm curious, you know, because we have basically 2 different scenarios of how he left the house, right? He either didn't come home from the Texas Roadhouse and was handed off, or he was carried out of the house at 3:10 a.m. when the flashlight video was. But if he left the house or if he never made it home, Then what's the deal with the flashlight video? Yes, we actually watched the Jennifer Together Rigor Motive. Um, I like that name, by the way. Yeah, it really was good. And we talked about the red flags. We actually, as we went through it, we wrote down the red flags um, in the case, and I liked, you know, the points that she brought up. In fact, we could even look at those. Let me get into those. Find them real quick. Share my screen. Yeah, so these were um, the red flags that she brought up. The way Sebastian ate at the Texas Roadhouse. This one seems to bring up um, different people think differently, right? Very curious about all these phone calls between 6 a.m. and 6:30. Yeah, I think they were planned now that I'm looking at it. And Chicky says he was carried out. Yep. In my opinion, yes. Thank you for doing that. Um, but yes, I can only go with what Seth said because we don't know Sebastian, right? And how he ate. Okay. But Seth said the way that he was eating. God, there we go, Ida. Well, I don't recommend anybody doing anything illegal or violent. Please, please don't. But yes, I mean that was his trigger, right? His truck is his trigger. And so, yeah, that's too funny. Oh goodness. Um, but yes, I kind of go along with I kind of go along with Jennifer on the way that Sebastian ate. I also think that Sebastian was too thin. And Katie and Chris made such a big deal about Sebastian wanting snacks all the time. Well, excuse me. He's a 15-year-old boy. Now, I didn't have boys. So, but from everything that I've heard, growing boys eat a lot, right? Well, you want to make sure he's getting the nutrition he needs. And so Jennifer brought up a good point. Have healthy snacks for him. You know, put those other meats and proteins and fruits, anything out there that he can eat. You know, if all he had was popcorn and no lunch, that could explain his appetite. Um, she didn't mention lunch, and I think that's true. She had, fun fact, guys, fun fact, she made spaghetti pancakes, but then he had the colossal popcorn. And rigor mortis says, I have a 15-year-old boy and they eat. Yes. Aquarian, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Happy New Year. Um, so I'm kind of with Jennifer on that. I think that that is a red flag. Seth said it was unusual for him. So I'm I'm kind of with Jennifer on that. I think that's a red flag. Katie's inconsistency in a lot of her statements, but especially in the thud statement, because when she first talked, she didn't even bring up the fact that there was a noise or a thud or anything. Then when she brought it up, it was just, oh, she heard something, and then it was a noise, and then it turned into a thud. So a lot of, different things going on there. The fact that Sebastian was not seen on any video surveillance, that's unusual, guys, when you think about how many cameras there are out there nowadays. Even if some odd reason he was able to leave, which we all know he didn't, when he got outside that neighborhood, he would have been seen on some kind of camera. And then, see, in there, Tracy said that a lot of autistic children eat like that. And yeah. So, like I said, I can only go by what Seth said Sebastian was like. And that's another good point. If they withheld his meds, they made him hungry. Because if a lot of those meds we know, suppress the appetite. So if he was off of them, which if they were planning on, I don't know, handing him off, whatever they were going to, if they were planning on, let's just say this, if they were planning on getting rid of him, would they have taken away his meds and that's why he was hungry? I mean, that's a good thought. Oh, Nutter, thank you so much. Appreciate you. And for those of you who don't know, Lacey is my dog. And she just stood up when I said her name. She's like, what, mama? What? She's my sweetie. But thank you so much. $50,000 reward. You heard Jennifer Coffendaffer say that FBI doesn't just do that, right? So right. This hunger could be from no meds. Yep. Exactly. And, $50,000 is quite a bit for the FBI to give out. There's another case where it's only 15, So they know something, they believe something for them to have that kind of a reward. And Jennifer knows that because she worked for them, right? Some of the motives would be his issues. I think one big issue for Chris and Katie is they were embarrassed of him. I think that's why Chris called him an R word. His bedwetting, abuse, and any form of abuse can cause bedwetting, although that's also, from everything I hear, a problem with autistic children as well. So I agree with her on those things, that could be a motive. And we found out recently, which those emails that they conveniently leaked out only backfired on them. They wanted to get rid of him. They wanted to put him in a home. Thank God that Seth was checking into these places and saying no. because the places that they had mentioned, children had died in those places. So, thank God Seth said no. DB against others, which is Chris's history, right? You can't negate that. That's something that investigators will look at. Sebastian's the SA abuse that happened when he was a child in California. That's a red flag. How it could have been allowed to have happened. And that will also contribute to bedwetting issues as well. Another red flag was the very unusual to leave shortly after your child is missing. And she said that in her experience, innocent parents will not leave their home because they're believing their child's going to come back there. Right? And we know that Katie said she was afraid, she was getting threats, whatever. Whatever, guys. No one would ever be able to push me out of my home if my child's missing, because I'm going to be there till he's home. I'm going to tell the police you do whatever you got to do. I'm staying in this house. Have a patrol officer outside, whatever you got to do. You need to protect me because I'm not going anywhere. That'd be my thought. Hello, SRB. Good to see you. Yes. Traveling all over the place. Yeah, exactly. Like they're on a vacation or something. Yeah. Kyron Horman's case, his reward hasn't gone up. I know. I think it's kind of rare for a reward to go up, for the FBI to increase a reward. I don't think that that's common, is it? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying I don't see it too much. And then the discipline was very harsh, between the using the belt, throwing away your children's toys, whatever, right? So those were the red flags that Jennifer Coffindaffer had given us, and I agree, right? I'm totally right there. I don't remember them mentioning it either. I only heard it from Katie's lips. There we go. Do we believe it? Right. Here's what I think. I don't think and they said they haven't left the house, blah blah blah. But the neighbors have seen other people in their home, and they said they haven't rented their house, nothing. But neighbors have said and spoke to people who were renting their home. So, who are we going to believe? The neighbors or Chris and Katie? I mean, or Chris. It wasn't Katie that said it was Chris. Yeah. I forgot about the pressure washer. Yes. That's gotta hurt, guys. That's a lot of pressure. Oh, no. I didn't mean that. I meant that, what was I talking about? The neighbors saying that they've seen people at their home. They've talked to people who are renting their home. and staying there for however long or whatever. So my opinion is that Katie can't stand to be in that home anymore. So what happened there, Katie? Why can't you be in that home? That's my thought. Something happened there. I agree. I agree. I agree. Well, no, I will say this. I I believe Chris when he says he hit Sebastian over with the belt. I believe Chris when he says that he gave away Sebastian's snake. I believe Chris when he said that he threw Sebastian's toys away. I'm sorry, I just do. Because all those jive with what we know. Now, do I believe that he only hit him once over the outside of his clothes? Nope. But I believe he hit him like he said he did. Um, do I believe that he told the guy that has Sebastian Snake that to keep him for him so that Sebastian can come and see him? Nope. Because we heard from the people who owned the snakes. Chris had 33 of them. Ugh. That Chris knew it was a business. There were no guarantees. Ironically, though, they do still have Sebastian's snake, but Chris has never brought Sebastian over there to see his snake. And what was the other one? Oh, throwing away his toys. That one is a given. Yes, I agree. I agree. Yes. The CPS reports changed a lot of my thinking as well. Especially when Seth said if we knew what he knew. Yes, exactly, SRB. He likes the power. He likes that power. He likes power and control. That's who Chris is. Power and control. He likes to control the narrative of everything. When he's been on those panels, think about it. He has tried to control the narrative on every single panel he's been on. And the most explosive one that he couldn't control was with Terry Lynn. That one was crazy. Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, exactly. But they're, which I wouldn't think anything of them wanting to rent it out because they have a mortgage. They've only owned it for 2 years, guys. So they got a mortgage they've got to pay, right? So why not rent it out if you're not going to stay there, you know? But why aren't you going to stay there? It's a nice home. So what happened there that you wouldn't want to stay there? Is my question. Yes, exactly, Canine. All the things that are coming out are making them look so bad, and that's why they're scrambling, and that's why there's so much distraction and hate and garbage going on out there, guys. It's awful. It's horrible. And it shouldn't be. but they're lashing out. They're lashing. Why did CP know about Ellie doing forensics in their backyard? Yeah, because he has a friend in LE. That's why. When he insults, it makes him laugh and he thinks that he's smarter and better. Yeah. Yes. He does. He does. Yeah, he thinks he's um but you know, I hate to tell him he's not very smart if he thinks the word is pervy instead of privy. Yeah, you got to be pretty stupid to use that word and say it wrong. Or machete. To say machete in a court of law. Come on, guys. Who does he think he is? Honestly. I'm serious. I'm serious. I just don't get him. I don't get him at all. But you know, he is what he is, I guess, and at this point nobody's going to change him. I know. People are saying it just to get back at him. But here's the thing, does he even know that he said it wrong? That's what's even funnier, SRP. Does he even know? I mean, I don't think at the time that he said it, at least, I don't think he knew. I think he thought he was being intelligent. Oh my gosh. Hmm. Yeah. But but do they know what they're saying? Are they're doing it? Please tell me they're not serious. Yeah, he's so not smart. He was the only best friend. You don't think Katie's his best friend, Malika? You know what? The thing is, we heard that their marriage was on the rocks before all this happened. Now they're stuck together, unless it all comes out, I guess, then they could divorce. Not unless, when it all comes out. Um, but for now, they're stuck together. They're stuck with their secret and their lies. They're stuck. Oh, well, birds of a feather. We won't say any names, but birds of a feather, right? Oh goodness. Oh, so you know, where are we on the timeline, guys? What do you think? There's not a whole heck of a lot that we know for a fact. It starts basically with the Texas Roadhouse video, and we wouldn't have even had that if it weren't for Dogging at Night, right? Hello, extended fasting. On the phone with Chris on night of the 25th. Yeah. But do we know that? I mean, I I guess so. Law enforcement would know that, right? But have they said that? Have they corroborated that? That law enforcement hasn't corroborated a lot, right? So it basically starts with the Texas Roadhouse video. Thank God that came out. Wow. Because then we knew what time they left, right? And then the neighbor knew what time they got home and pulled into the garage. And then the garbage video was right after they got home. So by 7:00, right? I know. I know. But the bad thing is, they said that they're going to temporarily put a hold on any updates, right? So here we go again, guys. We're gonna, you're used to getting updates from that night, aren't we? We've gotten spoiled. I mean, think about it. Every night for how long now have I been going over the at night updates? Every night at the beginning of my video, I've been going over the at night updates. So for a while. LE has confirmed any of the hasn't, I think you mean, right? Confirmed any of the information that KP and CP have given to the public. Yeah. Not confirmed. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. They haven't confirmed a whole heck of a lot. Right? Even the flashlight video, it was funny how Nick Barris pulled back on that even, right? But it was too late because once it's out there, I think he got into a lot of trouble for sharing that. But that's my opinion. And then they had to address it, right? So yeah. Where did I what did they say? I'm trying to think. They said no evidentiary value on the flashlight video. And then Nick said, but it could be something. And Craddock said, we don't know what we don't know, but it could mean something down the road. And he said, yes, it could somewhere, could be a possibility or something like that. So, yeah. They've been very secretive, very sly. And we were told that they actually said, well, tell them it was a trash truck to Seth. So I don't know. They're keeping things really close to the vest. I think that they have suspected Chris and Katie for quite a while. And I'm not sure what has come out recently that has now made her totally shut up. But if law enforcement hadn't lied to Seth and CP about the trash trucks, the neighbors would not have come out to talk about the lights in the car. So who's to blame, Bobby or LE? Right. Well, here's my thought. If they were never supposed to come out, then the one responsible is Nick Barris, right? Um, and yeah, I mean, it it didn't seem when I remember when I heard Seth say that it was trash trucks. I was like, come on, 3 o'clock in the morning, no freaking way, you know. But I thought, well, who knows. But then the more that stuff came out, that just made me wonder. The mob crew did such a good job on that flashlight video. Really a good job on that one. Um, and so extended fasting, what about the 3-hour phone call? What are you saying about that? You said it a couple times now, so I'm curious, what do you mean? Yeah, SRB, right? Trash truck explanation, never. And once we saw the mob crew's um, overlay, I mean, now we know flash trucks don't go through backyards, right? I mean, it's just so bogus that it's ridiculous. But yes, absolutely, we do. So feel free to share what your thoughts are on the 3-hour phone call with Chris. I mean, law enforcement hasn't said that it hasn't happened, but they haven't said a whole lot either way of anything. And I know there are people who have said, who can talk for 3 hours. I've told you guys, I had a husband who was a trucker, and 3 hours was nothing. Um, so when you have a husband that is gone on the road for work, 3 hours is nothing, right? It's really, and did I like it as far as being on the phone that much? No. And never failed whenever I tried to start doing dishes or clean house or do something productive while I'm talking on the phone with him. I'd get yelled at for being too noisy. So it's like, can't win. But is there anybody that disagrees with any of the red flags? I'm curious. I know there may be some people who disagree with the first one, who may not agree with Jennifer on that one. And it's okay. Anybody? Hi, Maud. You agree with those? Yeah. I agree with them all. They all made sense to me when she was talking about them. Is it enough to build a case on? Depends on what they've got, right? Yeah, it depends on what they've got. Yeah, most of them were things. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Because they're all things, if you think about it, the thud, no video surveillance. I guess I didn't really, I mean, I was happy to see the $50,000 reward, but I didn't see that as being so important, um, as far as the FBI seeing criminal intent in this case, right? I guess I didn't understand that part. But, um, a motive as far as wanting Sebastian out of the house, his issues, um, DV, Chris's DV against others. Ugh. We tried to watch Nina's video the other night, and too many of us were triggered, right? I said no more of that. It was just too hard. The essay abuse that Sebastian experienced, leaving the home, yeah, and the harsh discipline in the home. So, all things that, I mean, I think we just had thoughts about, right? All wondered about it. I think along with Katie's inconsistency, but maybe she's just looking at the fact that Katie was allegedly the last person to see Sebastian, but I would also put in um Chris's lies that he's been caught on, along with Katie's inconsistency, right? Wish they tell us a confirmed timeline that was truthfully said. Yeah, yeah. It would be nice because we're trying to figure out a timeline, um, and we have nothing to go on, right? Only a few things, and that's only because At Night brought out the Texas Roadhouse video, right? And a little bit of what neighbors have said. So it's been really difficult, right, to come up with any of that. And I haven't seen anybody really nail down a good timeline at all in this case, and that's I think because we get bogged down talking about details. Yeah, that's really true, SRB. She did she? I mean, she did talk about his DV against others. Yeah, there's no transparency. No transparency. Butterfly Kisses, hello, hello. Said that Ellie told them to say it was a trash truck. Yep. Video was not supposed to be leaked. Yep. I think because they're not the leading investigative office, Ginger Girl. They're just helping. Sumner County is the leading investigating office, and Nick Barris is their go-to media person. So that's why. And yeah, it just sucks. Because I'm sorry, but that last video that Nick put out, all he did was crush together a bunch of his old, and it was misinformation. It was no good. He's lazy, in my opinion. Honestly, I think after he put out that flashlight video, when he jumped the gun and he did that and he got in trouble, I think he's afraid to put too much out there now. I mean, if you think about it, he probably got in trouble from his company as well as the police, so, um, he's probably afraid to put out too much. 'Cause, he's probably like the rest of us. He's listening and he's, looking and right. Yep. Updates are not updates. And yeah, I think he's scared, you know. I think the police put the fear of God in him. It's my opinion. I really do think so. But yeah, so much on this case and just nowhere to go, right? And oh, guys, what about what happened in New Orleans 3 o'clock this past morning? It's horrible. Another Daryl Brooks case, right? Except that it sounds like this guy had people working with him. Well, that's awful. It's just awful. They're saying now 15 dead, 35 injured. Ah, that sounds good. Making stuffed jalapeno peppers wrapped in bacon. Yum, yum. I know, and what a way to start the new year, right? I mean, honestly, guys, it makes you afraid to go out into a crowd of people for an event nowadays. And it doesn't matter where you are. I mean, I don't know that I'd want to go to a concert. It's just, if you and I'm glad that people were out there and they weren't fearing for their life, but look what happened. You know, it does make you pause and take a thought about whether you want to be out there. Me too. Me too. I mean, there's been a couple of outdoor things that Brenda, Joe, and I had thought about doing, and I'm telling you what, we both kind of said, no, maybe not. Yeah. Well, I mean, even concerts. There was that one in Vegas, right? It was a country concert. I don't remember who it was. Um, there was that one. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, you know, it just out there. Um, but it's getting to be about that time. So I'm going to leave you with our grannyism tonight. And I thought that with everything that's been going on in this case, this was perfect. Weak people, revenge. Strong people, forgive. Intelligent people, ignore. And how true is that, right? Because strong people will forgive, right? But intelligent people will ignore. And it just kind of reminded me of something Justin said earlier, so if people are talking about you, let them, My mom used to say, if they're talking about you, they're leaving somebody else alone, right? And easier said than done, no doubt, no doubt. But if you keep going back after them, you can say, you can have righteous anger and, go back at them. But what does that do? And what have we seen in this case? It's crazy, and it should not be happening, in my opinion. Oh, Maude, that's horrible. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But so I want to encourage you guys tonight, be an intelligent person. Ignore the noise and the distraction, and you know because sometimes I'll be honest, um I have my creators out there that I like, and when I see them being attacked, it bothers me. But what good would it do for me to stand up and say something because they're just going to come at me then, right? And it never ends, you know. So if we all just try to be kind, that's why I don't um allow anybody to put any creators down in here, right? Just you know, because we want to treat others the way we want to be treated. So that's the old granny and me talking, I know. But anyway, I thank God for you guys tonight. We've had a good time. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Um, I don't know if Deception Detective is still on, but I think I might head over there and go take a look and see what he has to say. I really like him. So thank you so much for coming on in. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.